Alright, Wastelanders, I promised you I wasn't going to do any of that. My family first found this recipe vacationing in the fall of Vermont, and I'm still not going to fucking do this. We're doing this now, though, because there is only one time of year you can actually get this shit. This is a sugar pumpkin. We're going to stuff it. Yeah! The downside is you can't really get these things outside of a little before Halloween for all the people with the sad kids with the 2 religious parents who just have to like fake a little painted jack-o'-lantern. The good news is these motherfuckers will actually keep a while until you pierce them. The reason War Dog is fucking with Lady Humungus, and I may be out of frame right now. Anyway, the reason these things rot so quick is once you pierce them, all this soft, delicate inner goo becomes accessible to all the bacteria and all the other happy horse shit that's flying around. You leave these things in their pristine state like a pair of teenagers' titties, they're firm like a pair of teenagers' titties. Waxy. I hope that's not the case that you encounter. And they're going to last for a good couple of weeks. This is why grocery stores don't have big rotting piles of pumpkins sitting in their dumpsters for the entire month of October. Anyway, first thing we're going to do, we are going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Set yourself up for success. Do not be a fucking noob and forget this step. Preheat that shit. This is a long bake. The prep is not actually too hard. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's not bad. Don't worry, bear with me. Your patience will be rewarded. Hi, Alton. Anyway, employ your best jack-o'-lantern making skills. And be sure to notch the fucking lid so you can align this so that when you put it in the oven, you don't have a shabby fuck pumpkin. Shabby fuck pumpkin is the name of my Peter Frampton cover band. Now, what we're going to fill this with, bread, bacon, cheese. So the first thing you're going to need to do after this, after you've gutted your pumpkin, got all that shit out, try to get all the seeds, but don't worry too much about the stringy shit. That's going to bake down, and we actually want the pumpkin meat as part of this. I've got about 5 strips of bacon diced up and cooked off. You fuckers have not paid me enough to fry bacon in this yet. I've also got about a half a teaspoon each of garlic and shallot diced into that. What I did for that is as soon as I took the bacon out, I just killed the heat and let the residual cook that shit. That's all you got to do because this thing's still going back in the oven and you're going to have some more time on that for the flavors to develop. We'll talk about herbs and seasonings in a few minutes, but since I said we're putting bread in this, let's figure out how much bread we're going to need. Now, for your average 3 to 4 pound pumpkin, I've got a 3 to 4 pound pumpkin I can show you. You're going to need somewhere in the neck of the woods of 4 ounces of bread. I don't know why Dog of War is so hyped up, but he's just fucking doing laps while I do this, and it's kind of funny if you ask me. Anyway, take some stale bread. If you got a leftover loaf of French bread from 40 Clove Chicken or something like that, perfect. If your bread isn't stale, don't fucking sweat it. Cut a chunk of bread off. Compare it to the volume of your pumpkin. If you think it'll fit, stuff it in there. Don't stuff it in there just yet. If you think you're going to need a little more, cut a little more. Just examine your cavity. Yeah, that's a good orange cavity. It's like Trump's colonoscopy. So anyway, we're going to take this bread. I'm going to dice this up into 1/2-inch cubes, and then we're going to come back to the rest of this in just a couple of minutes. Be right back. Okay, I've cubed up this bread into about 1/2-inch-ish chunks. You want to err on the side of too much on this because you're going to be stuffing this pumpkin. Stuffing. You want it full. So, I've got my bacon, shallots, and garlic in there as well. I've also got a little bit of thyme because I'm about to lose my crop because it's getting cold, a little bit of tarragon, and 3 leaves of sage, some very good shit that I grew myself, all chiffonaded up in there. I like the chiffonade on the sage because you get a nice big burst that's going to work against, but well, with the sweetness from the pumpkin on this. Now from here, what we're adding in is a shitload of cheese. By the way, when I was talking about the pumpkin, I forgot to talk about my favorite friend here for pumpkin work, Boney M. This is not Russia's greatest love machine. If it is, Russia's got some serious problems. But anyway, a boning knife is perfect for getting around the top of this pumpkin and opening it up without just slicing the fuck out of yourself. Because seriously, these things are sturdy. Be careful. These are winter squash. They are designed to sit on a fucking shelf until we can grow some more shit in spring. So they're going to take a fucking pounding, just like your mom, before they open up. Wait a minute, that one got away from me. Anyway, what we're adding this is a bunch of cheese. Right here, I've got 4.5, give or take, ounces of Gruyere, because it plays very nicely with the pumpkin. You can cube this if you want. I have shaved mine, because who doesn't like something freshly shaved? To that, I'm going to throw in just a little bit of parm. Again, shaved. That's probably like, I don't know, a couple of grams. Fuck it. You can pretty much use whatever cheese you want for this. There is not really a wrong answer. The stuff from before with Emmentaler and all that bullshit, you can actually use cheddar in this just fine, and it comes out great. I just prefer this. So, we're going to add a little bit of pepper. You're going to want to taste this after it all gets mixed up. But I've done this before, so I know about how much pepper I'm going to add to make it happy for me. We're going to add heavy cream to this. It's going to be about somewhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of a cup. We want to wet this up. Look, this metaphor is just so sitting on the table, I'm not even going to touch it. But we want to get some moisture in here, but not too much, because this bad boy is going to give up a lot from that sweet, sweet pumpkin meat. Get in here by hand. Yeah, you got to get your hands dirty. Mix all this up. And you know what? I'm going to bring just a little bit of smoke to the party. Lady Humungus, would you reach over and get that since I've got a creamy hand? Thank you, love. I'm going to splash in a little smoked paprika. Not too much. That's not even a 1/4 teaspoon. Get that all mixed up. Pull your nicely notched lid off. Pack that shit in. Good addition might be some chicken stock if you wanted to simmer the cream and the chicken together for a little bit. There is no... That would be fucking awesome. I should have done that for this. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. Yeah, already begun. There, nailed it. That's about how full you want this. The bread's going to swell a little bit. The pumpkin's going to contract a little bit. When this thing comes out, it's going to be like a sad, floppy, saggy grandma tit. So you're going to want to be careful when you pull it out of the oven so it doesn't like and dump hot, cheesy, molten goo all over you. With the bacon in there, you've actually already got enough salt, especially coming off the cheese as well. So I'm going to lid this up, and we're going to pop this into the oven for about 2 hours. Yeah, that's why this one's going up late this week. I've got to bake this motherfucker and then get a glamour shot of its saggy, floppy beauty for you when we're done. Either way, we'll see you in about 2 hours, and if I think of anything else in the meantime, I'll add it then. Thank you much, and be back soon. Alright, before we wrap this up, legal has advised me that I should probably clarify, when I was talking about ripe teenage titties, I mean 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and anybody on Pornhub claiming to be one of those two things. The good news is, that leaves Mrs. Bark from Kentucky Fried Movie, on the table. Anyway, it's been 2 hours. Pulled this thing out. This is why I left the stem on. This has only been out of the oven for about a minute, minute and a half, and I can hold on to this motherfucker already without any discomfort. This is not carrying heat into my hand. It's all good to go. You can see that the contents have swole a little bit. Nothing like a bed swole. And now your best bet for serving this up, grab yourself a big ass spoon, get in here, mix this shit up, and be sure to scrape the sidewalls down. I'm going to cherry pick a little bit here. This pumpkin meat, you want to mix that into this. You want a nice even mix of pumpkin meat and all the shit you packed in there, and otherwise throw it in the bowl, top it off, maybe throw some chives on there, that would be awesome. This plays great with alliums of all stripes, shallots, garlic, onions, chives, you're good to go there. So the bad news is, next week, y'all are going to have to cook for yourselves, because I have to deal with Wasteland family shit. Nobody's happy about it. but we're doing it. So anyway, I'll get something up for my Patreons. You're going to like what I've got coming up. This is going to be a real versatile motherfucker that you're going to love on just about everything. Other than that, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled traumatization of all you poor motherfuckers without the self-esteem to not watch this about the day after Halloween. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, comment, all that happy horse shit. Patreon.com will be in the description. And I'll put the actual herbs I used in here. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.